Last-ditch save, missed headers and dodgy goals. My name is Tom Cole and I'm going to be taking you through Nottingham Forest 0, Sunderland 1, in which was Sunderland's first away win of the season, and it was more than deserved. It was absolutely outstanding away performance by Sunderland, and it's literally all we can ask for, really. I mean, it's just been an unbelievable start to the season. It keeps getting better every single week, and literally, I think for the first time in a long time, every Sunderland fan is proud to be a Sunderland fan, and we can't wait for every game that's going to be coming up. And as for Nottingham Forest, I mean, they'll probably feel hard done by the goal. I'll be talking more about that in just a little bit. But I mean, to be fair, they also had more than enough chances to get a goal, and they just couldn't, through whatever means, just missed opportunities or just unbelievable defending from Sunderland. Yeah, it just wasn't Forest's night. Unfortunately for Ange, it is the 5th game without a win in all competitions. So going into the two teams, starting off with Nottingham Forest, they have Matt Sells in goal, Williams, Milenkovic, Morato and Zinchenko the back four, backward Dominguez, Anderson, Ndoye and McAtee in midfield, and Chris Wood up front. Sunderland, we had Robin Roofs in goal, Hume, Mukiele, Alderete, Masuaku the back four, Xhaka and Siddiqui in midfield, Talby, Rigg and Lafayette behind Wilson, Isidore. Literally the first sort of about 10-15 minutes, Sunderland started off very brightly. We're getting some good areas early on. Talby was doing a lot of work down the right hand side. Rigg was often coming in to try and help him a little bit, as he did. But sort of as the first half grew on, Nottingham Forest, the woke up essentially, and they did actually have a few opportunities, but nothing really came amidst. Really, Wilson Isidore probably having the best opportunity in the first sort of half an hour with a shot which he tried to shoot. I mean, to be fair, it was backwards to goal. He just turned and had a shot at the same time. Very unfortunate from Isidore not to score at one, but I mean, it was a good effort nonetheless, to be fair. And I think Matt Sells probably would have had it covered had a managed to be on target. But on the 30th minute, the first goal did come, and it's controversial, I won't lie. So Trey, Hume and Milenkovic, they both go in for the ball. Milenkovic does win the ball. He manages to win the ball, but at the same time, he goes down like he has been shot. And the referee being right next to it, obviously saw Milenkovic. It was a dive. It was a dive, okay? We can get that out of the way right now. It was 100% simulation outside of the box. Forest fans have been complaining, saying that neither player actually touched each other, which is true, but at the same time, Milenkovic, he dived. It was a dive. It was a clear and obvious dive. And the referee did give a free kick and yellow card for the Forest defender. Admittedly, at first I thought that although you can clearly say there was no contact between the two players, I thought a free kick was a little bit harsh, but as I've seen it back, Milenkovic, I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. Absolutely brainless to try and con the referee. He didn't have to, because he won the ball, he cleared the ball off the pitch. I don't know what he was thinking, trying to get a free kick for no reason. It was just so stupid from Milenkovic. And so, and then I got the free kick. Xhaka with a lovely ball in the box. Alderete, the back post, times run to absolute perfection. Header, Matt Sells probably should have done better with it, I'll be honest. He does get a hand to it, but it bobs a little bit, and Alderete does manage to get a goal. And that was Sunderland's first goal, actually, scored by one of our new rivals. About time, Wilson Isidore, Dan Ballard, lays on my hand and ends on the fair, being the other goal scorers so far this season, but Omar Alderete being the first brand new signing to score this season. It was also Sunderland's first goal scored before the 60th minute, and also our first goal scored in the first half this season. So, ticking off a few things already this season, and then it was really, really nice. It was a beautiful ball from Xhaka and Alderete again. Back post, times run to perfection, and manages to get the goal into the back of the net. And that was half time. And then second half, I think as we all expected, really, Forest come out all guns blazing. And in the second half, trying to get a goal here. They brought on Gibbs White for Dominguez. I believe picked up a little bit of an injury first. Also, Gibbs White came in. It is a bit surprising he wasn't starting for Forest in this game, but Ange has got his he's got his mind made clearly. Something we also brought on substitutions. Masuaku and Rigg came off for Getrauda and Traore. Traore making his debut today. I mean, also with Masuaku, obviously he was brought in to replace Ronaldo, who had been suspended. Look, West Ham fans said when he first signed that he was alright going forward, but in the back four he was absolutely useless. It's still early days, but Masuaku didn't really pit himself with too much glory in his 60-minute cameo that he had. And Chris Rigg, obviously his game last week against Villa was cut short due to the suspension as well. He was brought off for the Ballard, and to be fair, in a half an hour rig looked decent, but yeah, today it just wasn't working for whatever it is. It wasn't quite working off a Chris rig. A few slack passes here and there. Yeah, I think Forest's press definitely didn't help at all. Whereas Villa last week, they weren't really pressing us too much in our own half, whereas Forest definitely worked a lot more today, and it just wasn't really quite working out for Chris Rigg. And Hudson-Odoi and Jesus both come as well. Igor Jesus wasn't starting, surprisingly, despite his heroics midweek, and I think that decision to start Chris Wood ahead of him was, in the end, proved to be a pretty daft one from Ange as well. He also brings on Murray Hutchinson as well for backcourt, who I thought had a decent game on the right-hand side, but for Forest, literally were just chucking everybody on. That had a lot of chance. Robin Roofs with some heroics with Sage Alderete as well, getting stuck in. Mukiele once again, as he always is, very dominant in the air. And unfortunately for Nottingham Forest, just couldn't find a breakthrough. That would bring on Dan Ballard for the last 50 minutes just to really get the game over the line. And Elliot Anderson and Gibbs were both having efforts outside the box, which just weren't really doing anything really. Roofs wasn't really troubled by any of those efforts. And then we bring on Robbie and Dinger as well towards the end, just get some fresh legs up front, obviously trying to get a counter-attacking goal in the end. We almost did get Trowder with some lovely footwork from a corner, nearly managed to score, but a brilliant save from Matt Sells to keep him out. And then Callum Wendell came on for Chris Wood towards the very end, but it was too little too late by that point. I think it was definitely like a last-ditch roll the dice by Ange, and then that one there. And as well, Chris Wood missing some absolute sitters as well in both headers. Yeah, Chris Wood, unbelievable season last year in front of goal. Not so much so far this season, and today, he just wasn't at the wrist at all in front of goal. Some absolute sitters missed from headers from Chris Wood. Yeah, not great there from the New Zealand international. And that was full time. Sunderland, in the end, getting the win. And to be fair, I think again, apart from a few moments, fairly comfortable. Forest, especially second half, they threw everything at Sunderland, and they just couldn't find a breakthrough. 22 shots Forest had in that game with just one big chance, which I'm assuming was Chris Wood's missed header, which, if he got on target, it would have been 1-1 without a doubt. But yeah, for Forest, there wasn't meant to be for them to do up front. I think Sunderland, obviously I mentioned before, defended brilliantly, and they're more than deserving of winning the game. And of course, the whole controversy behind the goal. In my opinion, Milenkovic dives when he didn't have to either. The referee got the decision absolutely spot on as well, in my opinion, because we talk about simulation and diving all the time and how it's not picked up more, and yet when Milenkovic actually does dive, people are angry at it. And Andy Reid, former Sunderland player, and also well from a Nottingham Forest player as well, was baffled by the referee's decision, which, I mean, this could just be me with my Sunderland head on, but for me, I don't see how you can possibly defend what Milenkovic did. I mean, obviously, it's not like he, it wasn't like it was like a poor chance. I mean, he dived when he didn't have to because he cleared the ball. What happened? He tried to con the referee, and it completely backfired in his face massively because it cost Forest the game in the end. But yeah, all in all, fully deserved 3 points for Sunderland, and that, of course, takes up the third in the Premier League, which is absolutely insane to think about. The first time since 2001 where we've been in the top three after a certain amount of games. Obviously, we were second after game week 1, but I'm assuming if you're not counting the first game week, Sunderland are in the top 3 for the first time in 24 years. First time in my lifetime we've been in the top 3 in the Premier League, which is crazy. It really is crazy to think about. And pick a man of the match for this game was just now impossible because every single player put an absolute shift in. Robin Roos once again being unbelievable in goal. Some opposition fans criticised him for his goal that we conceded last week against Villa. Look, he more than made up for that today without a doubt. Trey Hume, admittedly, I mean, I think it is harsh, but Hume he did well certain aspects, but I think that's a few times I think he was just a little bit too relaxed on the ball. There were a few moments where him being too relaxed almost did cost us. I'm thinking about the fact where he could have cleared the ball much sooner in the second half, and Mick Gibbs-White tackled him and really should have scored. To be honest, Muki and Alderete once again, them two are forming quite the partnership in the heart of defence as well. And of course, Dan Ballard as well coming off the bench is always a nice feat there. Granit Xhaka is just an absolute. He is a fine player, Granit Xhaka. How we've got him is insane. You know, there were a few question marks about whether or not he would be good enough for Sunderland this season. You know, he's 33 today. He's absolutely fantastic. No Steaky as well. It wasn't quite something against Villa where he was covering more ground. I think it's definitely more of like a laid back game from Steaky. He still played absolutely brilliantly. Lafay, I mean, to be fair, unfortunately for Lafay, couldn't quite get into the game much second half, but mostly in the first half he was very, very good. I thought, you know, he definitely was making Forest's defenders. He was definitely causing problems. Isidore as well. I think other than that shot in the first few minutes, again, just wasn't quite the game where he could get involved in too much. But yeah, again, they didn't put a foot wrong. For Talby, Riga, Masuaku, I mean, I'm not going to say that they were poor by any means, because they weren't poor. But again, it just wasn't, they weren't at the absolute best today, especially Riga, Masuaku just wasn't great. And Talby, I mean, Talby's so much better on the left-hand side. I'm hoping maybe for Man United away next week, Talby's playing on the left, maybe Adingra on the right, maybe, and then have Lafay in that 10. Because in my opinion, although Lafay's done very well on the left wing, for me, he's at his absolute best in the 10. So, and of course, the substitute came on as well. You know, Getrauda, he covered the right back spot very, very well. And to be fair, wasn't lucky not to get a goal in the end. Traore as well, making his debut, as I mentioned before. You know, he's you know, it's so weird having a right winger who's so cool and collected on the ball. It's really, really, really refreshing there. Ballard, of course, as well, as I mentioned before, he had a very good job at the back. And Robbie and Dingo coming on for the last sort of 10 minutes or so, they both, you know, again, they did the job. You know, they did well enough. And yeah, for Forest, I mean, to be fair, I think the defence was very solid. I think, to be fair, I think obviously other than the goal, Forest's defence was pretty organised. For the most part, I thought Nico Williams was doing very, very well down the right hand side. He definitely, he was definitely causing Masuaku a few problems. Dan and Doy, I mean, to be fair, I mean, he wasn't at his absolute best today for Forest, but I think he's still a hell of a player, and Forest should be very, very lucky to have him. And then Elliot Anderson, I mean, I'll say it quietly, obviously because he is a Newcastle fan, but I thought he did all right. To be fair, I mean, obviously, yeah, he was pretty wasteful in front of goal, but he was definitely a very good performance in midfield as well. But of course, I think my man and myself got to give it to Granit Xhaka. For me, again, I just can't believe we've got him as a footballer. £13 million. Absolute bog. I mean, literally, just some of the price tags I've got for. I mean, Robin Roos, 9 million. Mukiele, 12 million. Alderete, but again, the 12 million. Like, just, you know, you've got to give your hat off to the recruitment team, because they got it spot on this window so far. It's been absolutely outstanding. It really, really has. And then just to end off the video, we're going to have a quick look at the scores from around the ground. Obviously, Sunderland being the 5:30 kickoff today, which is pretty unusual for most parts. So Brentford did beat United 3-1 and the early kickoff. Brilliant performance from Brentford United. Yeah, not great off from United. Let's be honest. You know, we've got the next week, and to be fair, it's getting to the point now where I'm going to be disappointed if we don't get anything from the game next week, which is crazy because our record at Old Trafford the last 60 years has been abysmal. So hopefully we can get something there. And yeah, surely Amarim's not got long left. You'd think. Chelsea once again being down to 10 men and only chucking it away in the end. It was just 1-0 up, but absolutely cruising, and then just a stupid red card from Chalobah and Brighton. Second half absolutely dominated, and in the end fully deserving the win. Crystal Palace inflicting Liverpool's first defeat of the season, 2-1 win for Palace at home. And by the way, Palace fully deserved. Liverpool, it would have been an absolute crime if Liverpool hadn't taken a point away from that game. It really, really would have been. But Palace fully deserved. And they're Palace now the only team left unbeaten after 6 games, which is absolutely unbelievable feat. I believe that's 17 in a row now as well. Just unbelievable. Leeds once again conceding last minute goals. Bournemouth managing to get a point in this one. And we're looking at the heat map. Just one back and pull it up. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it seems like a relatively even game, but I think Leeds probably were slightly on top. But yeah, once again, Leeds absolute dagger in the end, you know. Last minute winner, last minute equaliser, from Krupi there. Absolute dagger for Leeds. I mean, to be fair, if Leeds hadn't conceded those 2 last goals against Fulham and Bournemouth, they would have been in the top 4 right now. Unbelievable. Man City in the end demolishing Burnley, although to be fair, Burnley were level for quite a while. City just absolutely demolished them in the end. 5-1 win there for Pep Guardiola's team. And then obviously Tottenham Wolves has just kicked off. That's now 10 minutes in, currently 0-0. So guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Do let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of the game, and who impressed you the most, and what your current thoughts are something right now. How do you think we're going to do in the next few weeks? And be sure to let me know. I do read every single comment. I may not reply to them, but I do read them. So yeah, do let me know what you guys thought. That's been it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you all next time.